What's up? I am live as of right now. Let's get the party started, you know what I mean?
Hey, LaRonda, would you kinda like to go riding on my Honda? We'll go zipping down the street, you on the back of my buddy's seat, you and me, LaRonda on my Honda. Hey, LaRonda, would you kinda like to go riding on?
Alright. What is up? Oh, I didn't even put the intro. Should I even put the fucking intro? I'm not even fucking recording on my main fucking board. I'm just decided to say, fuck it, go live on YouTube for a minute. So, let's get it.
Shut up and
More popcorn!
shut up and
More popcorn!
Waka waka, guys. What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Shut Up and Refill My Popcorn. This time, if you're hearing the audio, you probably know by now. I have no fucking clue. I am live on YouTube as we speak right now, doing a live podcast. Never really did this shit before like this. You know, I think I'd closest would be like a Zoom call, and then I just take the audio and do all that shit. But I don't know. I wanted to share that Augie Myers song. For some reason, I was on an Augie Myers kick. Well, not for some reason. The Billy Madison show this morning was talking about cars, something to do with cars. Certain cars may or tails or something like trigger. I don't know. If you drive a certain car, you will cheat or some shit like that. And a lot of people were talking about Hondas, and this song came to mind from Augie Myers. If you don't know who Augie Myers is, was the lead singer of the supergroup Texas Tornadoes. If you know the song, "Hey Baby, keep us so," you know who I'm talking about. He's a singer of that song. He's the vocals. And oh man, I went on a kick because I remember growing up, we had a Augie Myers tape in our family vehicle, and we would always listen to it. It was always playing. So when that song came on, when it just popped in my head, I Spotify searched it, and oh my goodness. So I didn't record it, so I want to record. I don't know if I should. And if you're watching the live video, it's probably up already. I'm probably rambling. Anyways, why the fuck do I have a damn hoodie on? Well, or whatever the fuck, skull cap, hoodie, beanie. There we go, beanie. My ears are cold. Red. Yeah, I don't know fucking clue what the fuck I'm doing on fucking YouTube live. But nonetheless, gonna try something different. Always down to try something different. See, this is why I don't go live with this shit, because you will hear the fucking train in the background. I'll usually edit that shit out, or I'll pause it on the main. I mean, I still can. I don't even know if I should. Fucking, he's already halfway down the fucking tracks anyway. Anyways, today's episode is on Shrek Forever After. Now, a first in minis on this episode, because it's the first time obviously I'm on YouTube live with nobody watching so far, so I'm talking to myself, so it's the normal day. And also a first in the animated franchise front. Now, I had plans for when I had thought about doing this episode. I had plans to do this during the summer with some mini guests, aka my nieces and nephews. or nephew. Sorry. um, didn't really say we had time. I just didn't really take my recording stuff. And so, but I've been wanting to go ahead and dive into the animated franchises. There's so many of them, but none of, if you think about it, a lot of animated films or animated franchises, they don't. I mean, yeah, there's some that you're like, okay, this isn't the best one out of them all, but I mean, they're not total stinkers where it's like people just like boo. This movie, it fits in that same realm. I mean, obviously, it's another installment of Shrek. Now, Shrek, the original Shrek, came out in 2000. Was an instant hit. Was ahead of its time. Was like, you know, well, this original. Well, I don't say original. It's from a book, but you had Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz. Oh, who else was it? John Lithgow in the original cast. The sequel, which is probably my favorite, and it's probably one of the highest. It's probably one of the other films to precede its predecessor, if I even said that right. Basically, the sequel that was better than the first one. But I love the second one. The second one is my all-time favorite of the Shrek movies. And then the third one, which kind of put a close into this story of Shrek. I mean, if you think about it, trilogies is probably the best way to get your story, of whatever. You get your introduction, your kind of midway story, and then you got your ending for like everything just kind of goes full circle. But there's money on the table. So, of course, when there's money on the table, you're trying to chase that bag, you're trying to get that cash, trying to get that check, you're going to make another movie. And yeah, the story is kind of like out of left field because you would think, oh, well, what's Shrek like as a dad? And then there would be that story. But we only see him as a family man in the beginning, and you can tell it's kind of, I wouldn't say run its course, but you can tell it's doing stuff to him. Like he's already getting like, what the hell did I get into by falling in love kind of thing. And it's like, uh, I'm skipping something. I'm skipping the Rumpelstiltskin angle. So, the movie starts off with the king and the queen from far, far away going to realizing that nobody's going to rescue their daughter and save her from her curse, that they're going to have to make a deal with Rumpelstiltskin. So, they go on their journey to find this motherfucker. They find him, and just before they sign the deed or the deal with Rumpelstiltskin to basically give away their kingdom in return, or give away their kingdom for their daughter, someone busts in and says she's been saved. So basically, Shrek has rescued her. They don't know it's Shrek, but they've got the news that someone rescued their daughter. So the king rips the contract, and Rumpelstiltskin is just like, no, like this. From that day forward, he's like, if I ever find this motherfucking Shrek, I'm gonna ruin his life, basically. So now, present time, Shrek has a family. They've been together, blah blah blah, and they're there for, I believe it was the triplets' first birthday, and so for some odd reason, he's in the fucking back, behind the dumpster diving or whatever, and he overhears Shrek and Fiona argue because Shrek just finally had enough. Everybody at this birthday party was getting on his nerves. The three little pigs ate the fucking cake. Some random kid is just bugging him to do the roar, do the roar. It's probably the funniest part of the movie. What else? He's just getting fed up with. He just stressed the fuck out, and he blows up. And you would think everybody would freak out and be like, what the fuck? But everybody starts cheering because, hey, that's his famous roar. And the fucking kid's like, thank you, daddy. It's the best day of my life. Thank you, daddy. And so he realized, he's just like, he's had enough of it. There's another cake. He slams his fist through the cake. And that kind of makes everybody realize, like, oh shit, something's wrong with this dude. He leaves, he goes outside, Fiona follows and just kind of gets mad at him for acting the way he was acting. And Rumpelstiltskin hears this conversation. He's like, "This is my opening. This is how I'm gonna get this motherfucker." So he, I mean, obviously it's all fake, but he plays like he pretends like he's hurt and he's trying to be his friend, and so he weasels up to him and tells him, "Hey, I can do magic. You want to go back to the way it was, right? You want a ogre for a day? You can be ogre for a day. Just swap me days, whatever day. It could be a day you lost your keys. It'll be the worst day of your life at the time. I'll take that day away from you." And but in reality, he basically takes away the day he was born in return for this ogre for a day. Now, if you think about it, the motherfucker was pretty much ogre for like 2 days. But I guess you could say a day, night, whatever. So at first he's fucking loving it. He realizes that people are scared of him, so he's just going through the village and roaring up the motherfucking place. People are throwing pitchforks at him. He's loving it. He's throwing in the mud. Finally, he goes home and realizes he has no home. I don't know why he thought Fiona was going to be there, but he realizes that something's wrong, and these witches basically catch him. These witches have been going on like ogre hunts for shit, I guess, forever, because Rumpelstiltskin is controlled. It has control of for far, far away, and now it's like that scene in Back to the Future 2 where fucking town is all fucked up except for like Biff's tower. And that's what this is. It's like Biff's fucking tower, Rumpelstiltskin tower. And Shrek, he basically reveals to Shrek what happened. He's like, okay, well, you basically swapped. I took the day you were born away from you. So when this day ends, so will you. And at this time, he's not coming in contact with Donkey. He has found Donkey, and he's obviously Donkey doesn't know who the fuck he is, but somehow they start. He takes him away, whatever, when he escapes Rumpelstiltskin's, and then Donkey just jets. He takes off. They'll fuck away from me, ogre. You ain't gonna eat me. Shrek finds his daughter's stuffed animal or stuffed toy, and just reflects on, I gave up my family for this. I gave away probably the best thing that ever happened to me just because I was stressing out over not being able to be feared and this and that. And so it kind of he clicks in his fucking head. Starts to cry. And then Donkey comes back for some fucking reason and sees, I've never seen an ogre cry. So now he's on his team. They try to go and look. It's like, they look for Fiona. They head back to the tower. She's not at the tower no more. They find a fucking stack of waffles for whatever reason in the woods. Donkey's like, I'm gonna eat these waffles. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? End up finding the ogre resistance camp, which is like, where the fuck all these ogres come from? In this alternate reality, ogres there's more than just one. Other than there's more than just Shrek and Fiona. Well, Fiona wasn't born an ogre, but you know what I mean. And now she's the leader of this resistance. They're going against Rumpelstiltskin and these witches, and that's one of the reasons why the witches were going after Shrek. They just saw an ogre, and they're like, "No, we gotta kill this motherfucker." So they basically they do all that. So he's realizing that Fiona's here. He confesses what's going on. He tells her what's going on. She just kind of like, the fuck is wrong with you? It's crazy because, I mean, it's fun to see the alternate reality of the Shrek universe. We see a fat puss in boots with no boots. We see like the donkey's not even clean combed. He's all fucking shaggy. So anyways, he realizes he has to get her to fall in love with him. What was that? Oh my God. He has to get her to fall in love with him again. And they do this whole, tries to romance her, but it's obvious it's not going to work on this Fiona, because she is hardened, basically. She's hardened to romance and stuff. She's um, so they're planning a, what do they call it? They're planning a attack of some sort on Rumpelstiltskin because he's finally leaving the kingdom, or he's leaving his castle. But at this time, Rumpelstiltskin knows that Shrek's clean. We got to find Shrek. We got to get this motherfucker. He's gonna do something to ruin the plans. Blah blah blah. So they sent a bounty hunter. Now, in my head, and maybe if the audience said as well, I'm thinking of Puss, because at this time we haven't seen Puss in Boots yet. I'm thinking it's Puss in Boots, but then we find Puss in Boots, and he's actually been domesticated by Fiona somehow, and that's how he got fat. And so, who's gonna be this bounty hunter? Motherfucking, it is the Pied Piper. I think that's his name. He plays the flute, and he gets all the mice or the rats, and apparently he can dial it into ogre tunes or whatever. And when he starts jamming, he starts making people dance. He made the witches break dance and all kinds of shit. So now, where are we at on? Okay, so now the coup doesn't go as planned or whatever. He's basically trying to convince Fiona, look, I can make all this stop if you just kiss me. Basically, let's paraphrase it. If you kiss me, all this would go away. Rumpelstiltskin, blah blah blah. She's telling him, you need to be prepared, because if you're not prepared to fight, you're gonna die. So they start to click. They start to vibe because they're fighting with each other. And Puss in Boots is watching from afar, and he's like, "Oh, he's the one. Oh no, he's the one, Morpheus." And so he. And Shrek tells Puss in Boots, "Yes, I know I'm the one." He recites the, I guess the tune, or the oh, until daylight come, or true love's kiss, or whatever that you. So Puss finally realizes, okay, this dude is legit. How do we get them to go out? I mean, she's kind of into him a little bit, but she's not completely. Like, she's still kind of standoffish. They finally kiss, in a little bit short bit after Puss in Boots realizing everything. She's just said, okay, fine, you want me to kiss you here? Boom. But she's not in love with him, so it doesn't really take an effect. So this kind of like puts Shrek back a little bit. He's like, what the fuck? And at this time, Pied Piper has already started playing his flute, and all the ogres, and everybody starts dancing and shit. Everybody's like, fuck, because when he plays, everybody starts doing their jig, and they're like, what the hell? Like, uncontrollably. And they're all together, and they're all dancing, and Pied Piper's getting ready to, basically capture everybody. Out of the blue, or not out of the blue, but out from afar, Donkey and Puss in Boots rescue Shrek and Fiona and get them out of there, away from the music, so they can kind of snap out of it. But all her comrades, all the ogres, are captured. And at this time, Rumpelstiltskin realizes, man, let me just, for everybody out there, Magic Land or whatever, if you bring me Shrek, I will grant you no strings attached, a deal, no strings attached, whatever you want, it's yours, bring me Shrek. Well, Shrek turns himself in, and for that, he wishes for all the ogres to be released. Now, he thinks Fiona, being an ogre, she'll be released too. Rumpelstiltskin, the little fucking slimy little piece of shit that he is, he's like, she wasn't born an ogre. She's only part ogre. And you die. Ha ha! Rumpelstiltskin! Basically, this is when Fiona realizes that Shrek is legit. Is basically, she starts to fall for him, I guess. And she realizes he did something to try to rescue everybody, including me, but it didn't go the way he wanted. But at the same time, he did rescue my comrades. And we know that's going to end up them coming to help rescue them or help fight for them, which happens. But basically at the end, Fiona, Shrek's starting to fall because he's basically going to die. And she sees this happening, and they finally kiss, and it finally means something. but Shrek kind of like fades away, like Infinity War style. Like, I don't feel so good, Mister Stark. And he does quote unquote die, but she doesn't turn into a human at daybreak. At the date in the sunlight, and so it actually like at the buzzer it works, and everything goes back to the way it was. The deal is null and void. Rumpelstiltskin is basically put into a little cage, and apparently, I guess my connection is unstable. Fuck it, I'm still recording on my pod track. So Shrek is back in after he made the roar at the Chuck E. Cheese. I'm gonna call it Chuck E. Cheese. There's at a Chuck E. Cheese, and he just he just goes to Fiona, tells her how much he loves her, and he goes to see his kids, and he gives a little the little baby girl her stuffed toy, and everything is happily ever after. So that's the final quote unquote final story in the Shrek movie or the Shrek franchise. I have seen stuff maybe that they're making a part 5, but I don't know. Maybe a reboot. I've heard different things, but I mean, if you ask me, everything should just be trilogies. I mean, some things shouldn't, but in all reality, I mean, if you make it three movie story arcs, I mean, but nowadays people want more. You want more to the story. You want more to these characters, and so maybe a fifth movie is good. I mean, I say maybe, but you never know. The fifth one might make this movie look a whole lot better. I mean, it was cool with like the whole magic because it is make believe land and fairy tale land, or whatever. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, oh, this animated movie suck and this and this and this, but it's a family movie, man. It's something you want to watch with the family. I ain't gonna lie, man. The parts that hit me was when he realized that he is not going to see his kids. He basically gave up his kids to play in the mud, and it hit him, and he started crying. I was like, man, I feel that shit. That's tough. And then when he came back from that reality, and he goes to his kids, and it's like they have no clue what the fuck's going on, but he knows. He remembered everything. He's like, he has a little bit more appreciation. This is almost like a Wonderful lifestyle kind of. I mean, lifestyle, but life. The movie, It's a Wonderful Life style type movie installment of with Shrek and the characters and all that. I mean, amongst all the other Shrek movies, this one was rated the lowest. But like I said, you can't say it's the worst. Blah. It's not the Batman and Robin of this franchise, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like, okay, well, this didn't rank high amongst the audience or the critics. But that's how I do. That's how I've been gauging which movies to talk about in certain franchises. Let me know which one you think is the worst one in the Shrek. I mean, obviously, it's not part 2. It better not be part 2. I've heard people say part 3 we kind of sucked. I got to go back and rewatch 3. I know 3 was the one with King Arthur, right? The boy, or Fiona's brother's King Arthur or something like that. I remember Merlin. Merlin was all fucked up. But that's... Here comes a ghost.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can still hear you saying that. You can apologize when I was later, like when we're asleep. I mean, not really asleep, but the lights are off. You know what I mean? For all you people on audio, I'm winking.
Because I'm talking about sex.
Anyways, that's going to be it, guys. Stay tuned for the outro and some announcements and another probably sponsored repeat. Well, that's going to be the YouTube live recording of this episode. Obviously, nobody was here, so there's no point in doing live again. I don't know. This was pretty cool. Went straight to YouTube live. I didn't do no StreamYard or nothing like that. Obviously, I got the background, digital background, and I got paint marks. I was painting today. So, guessing this is going to go straight to the YouTube channel, but I don't know. It's on you. A ghost. Love you. What can you do? So, since this is on YouTube Live and it's also video, your boy got this at Walmart for like $18. It's a Switch game. Now, if you know me, you follow me on Twitch. If you don't, I do Twitch stream, and I be playing off my Switch. Been playing Metroid lately. I've been playing a lot of that game, Metroid Dread, that just came out. Fucking love Metroid games. I mean, I try and play the original one, but I think my favorite on an old school console would probably be Super Metroid. I only got into that like a couple years ago. I think the very first Metroid game I got into was Fusion, which was on the Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP, and that was my all-time favorite. So, anyways, got this game, Hasbro Game Night, at the local Walmart on the clearance aisle for $18, only because it's got Monopoly on it. If you know certain things about a certain show, aka Get My Go, they did an episode where a guy was playing Monopoly while he was recording for a different show to hate on Vince Russo. And long story short, I'm going to be playing this on Switch pretty soon. So I'm kind of excited about that. Also, at that same local Walmart, fucking found the old school Leonardo Ninja Turtle. I guess they're redoing like they did the He-Man. That was really fucking cool. So I got that. I'm just a huge nerd. I'm a huge nerd. I'm over 30 years old, and I make my own money. And so I'm going to buy the goofy shit I want to buy. But yeah, ain't no shame in my game. So with that being said, I'm going to say it again. That was I don't even think I said it. No, that's it in the outro. But I'm going to say it here. If you're not laughing, you're not living. Nanu, nanu. How the fuck do I get out of here? Oh.